Hi everyone, it's BDevine, and I hope that this finds you happy and well. I really have been called all day to do this message, and I'm using my phone, so hopefully this video is nice and clear. As part of our journey, we are always going through a ton of challenges, right? We're going through things, we're shifting through things, we're sifting through things, we're releasing things, and then we're generating this brand new energy because of the things that we've released. And right now, I've noticed a pattern. So each week, I'm going to try to bring a message like this with things that I'm noticing or just want to share with you. And I want to share with you some dragon messages from the Dragon Wisdom deck and the Blessed Bee Oracle, like whatever I feel called to. But first, this is the pattern that I've noticed this week. So unfortunately, what happens to people is, one, they start on a healing program, or they start talking to themselves better, or they're doing their affirmations and things like that. And then what happens is, as they're doing this, life happens, right? And so they're focusing on all those little things that are going wrong and forgetting the things that they've actually been working on. And so as the mind starts to go actively into this energy of this is happening, this person's doing this, I'm hearing this bill's come in, oh, the news is telling me this, or there's weather anomalies, or this is that, blah, 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 and it's all confusing. When we're actively listening to our mind chatter around like this, what happens is that we have a false sense of the energy around us, right? Emotions block your clarity of the energy around you, okay? So when this is happening, it's like, I just wrote this down, the busier that your mind is, the more affected consciously you are by energy. What that means is where you would normally be clear or, just really happy within yourself and, joyful and all these things, you may find yourself becoming irritated and upset and in your low self-esteem vibration that you're actually trying to get rid of. So what I'm noticing this week is there are a lot of people who have forgotten their own power. They have forgotten the power of word. They have forgotten what they're doing, right, with their spiritual practices. They've forgotten to maintain. They've forgotten to lift their energy. They have sat there and they have listened to someone's talk and they have internalized this talk. And before you know it, a friend can become an enemy. A person who is in their emotional self and overthinking can suddenly lash out. And they're lashing out because they can't feel so clearly the energy of the divine coming in. They can't feel their support. They can't feel it, so they become vulnerable and raw. And therefore, everything anyone's saying is directly related to them. Unfortunately, healers out there in the world, there are many that are very unhealed. And so they don't work on themselves because they may believe that they're above that, or they may believe that their energy is directly for others. But if you're a muddy vessel yourself, then whatever you're channeling through you has got to go through a muddy wall. And so therefore your signal or what you're radiating out to others is dirty as well. And then there are others who do not protect themselves correctly. And I don't know how many times I've told you about declarations. You can look them up, you can look them up, but it's got to be part of your daily practice. And so therefore, they talk about feeling and sensing and being in other people's energy, and they're wiped out after doing readings. I can work all day. I can work, everyone will tell you, whoever knows me and who knows my schedule and who knows what I do, and sees my work coming every single day, that it is easy for me to do so. Why? Because I'm not literally doing it. I might put it together, I might press record, I might do it, but I channel everything I do through a clear, crystal clear frequency. Now, that means I could go all day with whatever I need to do, right? And I'm not taking on the situation around me, the people around me, the anything. Now, if I'm not in that energy, then other people and things and actions can affect me. And I can feel it when that happens. And so luckily, I can quickly adjust those things. And that's just because of practice. So I'm not saying, oh, I've got it all and you don't. I'm just saying that through practice, you can see patterns of events happening around you. And it's up to you. You either clear this energy or you sit in it and you continue to sit in it. When I have been working on the academy and doing all of these teachings and things like that, one of the biggest things that I thought was that people would really, really be able to grasp everything that I was saying. And because believe me, I'm really thorough with the work that comes through. But what I was getting was that people were so caught up in whether they were doing it correctly or whether it was, it was going to really affect them, or whether others were going to like it or accept it, or whether they had to leave everybody behind them or not. I was surprised that some of the questioning was surrounding what if. And this week, I'm seeing what if all of the time with people around me, people coming forward. Some people send me emails personally and say, what if this happens? And what if that happens? And this week, I am seeing a whole lot of panic for no reason, okay? The importance of your power and strength is what I'm talking about today. When things get overwhelming, you need to check your emotional energy. What is your mind doing? When you get all stressed out and you get worked up and you get upset, why do you let that happen? Or what is being shown to you that you either need to release, to heal, to clear, or to shift? What is it? Okay. For example, one thing, and I would say this is probably one of the things that grinds my gears the most. And I'm learning to let it go, and I'm learning to not worry about it. But if someone knows you, okay, so I'll always use myself as an example. I have friends that I've known for 30 years, never have a problem with any of them, right? And they have seen me at my worst, my best, and in between. But when someone knows you, let's say you meet someone in a circle or you're in a spiritual group or whatever you're doing, and they've known you for a couple of years, maybe they've known you for 5, 6 years or something. You've always got along, always laughed. They've seen, how the healing works and everything. One thing that grinds my gears is when someone assumes something for the worst about me or whatever. Maybe it's about you. I don't know. I'm just using myself for an example. They assume the worst, right? I don't know where they get to that point of assuming the bad when everything's been positive, other than the emotions and the mind chatter are blocking them from seeing the energy clearly, right? So when someone assumes something about you, and this is what we're talking about now in the world, people are talking about don't assume this and don't assume that. Well, people assume that I'm a witch. People assume that I'm doing dark and evil things. People assume that because this group over here are doing this, then that must be what Becky's doing. Don't we hate people who assume that because we live somewhere that we might be, I don't know, an outcast or something, or who we're marrying, or where we're living? You know, the judgment is there. But the worst part of that is those are people that are making surface judgments. So they don't even know you. They're just like, oh, you must be a ga-ga-ga because you're doing ga-ga-ga. That's okay. They don't know you. When someone knows you personally, deeply, connected with you, has learned from you, has healed from you, right, has shifted with you, has done things with you, has seen things happen with you and around you, and been participating in joyful events. And then suddenly they're going to assume that you're a jerk, or you're doing this, or you're doing that, or right? They have let their guard down, and they have allowed something to come in that is not for their highest good. What ends up taking place is they become lonely, and they become lost, and they become stressed, they become hateful, and it's a whole massive big lesson to learn, right? So, you know, every now and then it's just life, and you're going to get an assumer, right? They're going to see you with your crystals and you think you're like, what are you doing? Like, because they have categorized you in a group of people who they've seen maybe on the internet or around, who act like they're mental, right? They do strange things. They're not in their own power. They're just off somewhere, right? I saw this a lot with people who were doing ayahuasca. You only need to do ayahuasca once if you want to figure out what your block is, and it's an amazing joke on you, because the block's always you. Ayahuasca is going to be like, but people who did ayahuasca a lot were just in this, you know, very, I don't know, they're not grounded at all. I remember speaking to the person that took me through ayahuasca, who was actually a psychologist, and he had worked with a shaman from Brazil to learn how to do this and do the ceremonies properly. And I said to him, if ayahuasca is so encompassing, all encompassing, why have you done it 1,000 times? And he didn't know how to answer me. It was just the fact that he wanted to escape reality and be in that energy all of the time. Some people do that with meditation. They want to escape reality instead of using it as a tool to better yourself and your environment and your life and bring things in. People who overthink and overstress or have low self-esteem are going to eventually believe that you're against them, you know, and this thing happens over again with unhealed people. And even with healed people, you can go back into that everybody hates me thing, because you need to heal that and stop hanging on to that, right? Emotions can block your clarity about energy and the energy around you. You can start to believe that anyone could be against you. You can start to believe that the deepest love you have in your life is against you, because your self-esteem is completely low, because emotions have blocked your clarity about energy. See how that can happen? When you're in a place where you're stressed about life, about your situations, about your money, about your bills, it goes into a downward spiral. Suddenly you're at this low energy vibration, right? And everybody's out to get you, right? And unless you can catch these things, which is what I'm trying to get you to do, catch yourself, your own patterns. Protect yourself daily. Don't give your power to anybody else with thought, with word, with deed. When something just happens to you, so I want to clarify something. If you've just had a big problem, a big issue, and something has finished, so you've had this problem, and you've had this issue, and something finishes, right? You can talk about that. You can talk about how you were feeling. You can talk about how PO'd you were. You can talk about how it made you feel. That you can talk about the relief you have now that that's not there. You can be excited. You can be annoyed that it took you so long to figure it out. So this is what, this is what I say to people. Let yourself express everything, right? Because it's when you suck it all in that it develops into a bigger tornado, right? You don't say anything, it's a tornado. I'm surprised sometimes, again, talking about assumptions and things like that, that someone would literally think something that's so outlandish. I had no clue that that's what they were thinking about. And they're surprised when you're saying, if you're saying to someone, what do you mean? I'm not even thinking about that. They're surprised that you weren't thinking about it because it was consuming their mind all of the time. You're going to know what I'm talking about here, right? They're like, what do you mean? You must be lying because I've been thinking about this the whole time, you see? So when you have let yourself become consumed with your mental chatter, when something's going wrong, when bills are coming in, you don't have the money, or you don't have this, or friends have let you down, or blah, 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 you go into this self-esteem issue, you lower your energy, you're not having clarity about what's really going on, right? And all of a sudden, the target, there'll be a target there, right? You are aiming for, and all of a sudden, there's a problem. And I have seen this last week or so, people's busy minds, people's questioning, complaints and issues, problems, people feeling like there's this big thing and they just don't know how to get out of it. And so they try to get themselves out of it and that's not working. So then they don't want to ask anybody because I don't want to burden anybody. And this one's busy and I can't. And suddenly there's a bigger problem. I always say before something festers into something massive and it's out of control, you need to talk to me, right? If it's got something to do with whatever, like to do with me. I don't want to know about everybody else's, business or problems or issues they might have with somebody else, because basically it's just, gossip. So all I can do is tell you right now, and anytime you connect with me, okay, let's break this down. What's going on? That's the best way to handle everything. So the importance of your power, your inner power and strength is more important now than ever before because the shift is already occurring. So you're either left behind in the old energy where you're, this is old, stuff, and that's all happening. Or you're like, you know what? Okay, crap's happening. It's okay. I'm keeping myself focused, centered, moving forward. Okay, we've got all this stuff going on over here, but I'm centered, I'm focused, I'm moving forward, right? I don't need anybody to applaud anything or be pleased for me or give me accolades and standing up and I've got a gold star. I don't need any of it. This is the message. The message is for you. I'm the messenger. Get your energy clear. Focus on that, because if you're spiraling, okay, it is very hard when you're spiraling to pull yourself out, especially if you've already taken it into your mind that you don't like something. If you're like, I don't like that, and then that's the only way out of your situation, you're going to avoid it. You see what I'm saying? So the busier your mind, the more affected you are consciously by energy. Stop the mind chatter. Okay, it's not that bad. There is a way out of everything, I'm telling you. So people come and they complain about money or life or this or that or the other, right? I get it. But if you're in the energy that's lower, and you're always focusing on not having because of whatever faults you have within yourself, or that never works out for me. My son is like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. I was going to have a problem. It's like, and there it is. You know, I feel like saying, God, you know, you just brought it into your life. Like, manifest that crap, you know. And it's like, you've got to realize manifesting happens instantaneously, good or bad. There's no one saving you but you, your team, your spiritual light team, the Lord Jesus, source energy. Everybody wants you to do all the things that you can do to better your life. They'll work with that energy. If you're working and you're asking your spirit guides to do everything for you, you've got the wrong idea of who they are and what they do. They guide your spirit. They guide your blueprint of life. You can't sit back and wait for this. Like, right, I'm not doing anything till my spirit guides show up right now. That won't work, because you have no real faith that it will anyway. And if they did, you're going to be like, spirit guides right there. Do you see that? Everyone's like, cuckoo. So, you know, it's like you've got to be careful what you're asking for as well. If you're asking for the demise of somebody else, and if your vengeance is like burning you up inside, you're going to get burned. It's like holding fire and expect the other person to get burned. That's what anger is, right? I'm so angry. Let me throw it at you, you know, and project all my BS on you, and it's all your fault. And inside of yourself, things are happening, you know, problems are occurring, relationships are breaking down. But gee, I threw that fireball really well, you know, and it just bounces back and comes right on back to you. Sometimes what can happen also is, again, emotions blocking energy. So I'm always telling people, because I am totally, or let me say, I am a controlled empath. Let me put it that way. Meaning, I sense things, I can understand things, I've been through most things, I practice my healing energy all of the time, every single day. I make sure that my energy is crystal clear, right? So when someone's going through something, I can become very, very, very active in listening and coming up with a plan, because they do not affect me. So in other words, you will hear empaths say, I'm just feeling everything. Oh, it is really hard to be an empath. Oh, I'm just taking it on for the world. Why? Why are you doing that? Because it's really not hard. If you want to get really skilled at what you're doing, learn how to block it away from you so you can have an awareness, but then pinpoint everything that's going on with another person, because you're not attached, you're not enmeshed in it. You're not attached at all. And it took me a long time to figure out this method. By doing healing work, we work out methods pretty quickly, or you're not going to be doing this work for very long. You've got to work out how to understand somebody without feeling everything that they've been through, because you've been through enough of your own stuff. You may be the type of person, because of your energies, that you attract the people that you can see potentials in. You attract them into your life because there's something in there that you know can be healed, right? You know they have this potential of great healing, right? And you can almost, oh, my nose is itching, sorry. My spirit guides come in and they just about bopped me in the nose. Oh my God. All right. Like, we're right here. You know, when you can pinpoint what's going on with someone by hearing what they're saying, and goes into a sensation of what they're saying, boy, you're going to be an amazing healer, because you're not grabbing onto anything here. You are staying exactly how you should be, actively listening. Then your intuition tunes in, right? If you're at work and you can learn this skill, then you won't absorb any of the BS from those customers that come in. I used to work in a secondhand place, which was radio rentals and cash converters. You know, might know that in Australia. And I would, and they'd come in desperate. I just need $20. You know, I just need $30 or whatever. They're buying a bag of weed, or they're buying cigarettes. Cigarettes like $35 5 years ago in Australia. So people would get really desperate, and you'd see these things, and you'd see them come in, right? When I first started working there, I was like, oh, just like feeling sorry for everyone. Look, let me give you $50 for that or whatever. And then I'd get in trouble because I've over purchased something or whatever, right? Because you could just see that they just really, truly, there were some people that were just, you know, they were just playing the system. But there's some people that really, really, truly just needed that. And they needed someone to understand them. And I would give them the money, right? And then I'd get reamed out later on. And I learned, though, that I was becoming too emotionally connected. And therefore, when something didn't work out, or they weren't really that way, or it was all fake or whatever, it would surprise me every single time, because I'd gotten into their energy of desperation and I had lost my clear vision, right? Just how it works. If you can work intuitively at work, if you can eat intuitively, if you can focus on one day at a time, then you've got your power back, you've got your life back, you've got your energy back. No one can drain you unless you let them. No one can make you spiral unless you let them. You know, people who say, oh, you're not perfect and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, of course not. Who's perfect? We work out from our mistakes what we're doing, and we keep on going, right? So this was just really clear to me this week. Panic was setting in with a lot of people. And so it may be a message for you. And I'm going to do this Blessed Be. I haven't done these for ages. It's a little blessing deck, and it's really nice. So let's see what message we need to get from here. Came right out. Ha. Can you see that? A blessing, a blessing to bring clarity. Can we just give it an applause here? A blessing to bring clarity. Let me read this for you. And it's number 35, which adds up to 8. Oh my God, I can't get over this. There's the picture. Okay, there. I want you to be able to see it there. Okay, it doesn't matter if you can see me or not. A blessing to disperse the muddied waters of the mind and of the heart, allowing the purity of what can be seen clearly to guide you. We move through our lives often knowing not quite what to do, without guidelines or any real compass about where we are going. There are mysteries that are good and fine to experience and others which seem merely to be obtuse and confusing. And with this blessing, you will begin now to know the difference. We have a collection of ideas given to us by parents or friends or schools and governments, and we see the world through their filters. This blessing brings to you a clarity from within, for you to know the true north of your own soul and to follow the soul's purpose, even when the path before you is unclear, dark, overgrown. This is not to find yourself, but to know your own soul deep within. And with this blessing comes a surety and a sense of lucidity. For when you are clear on who you are and what you care for and what you believe in, you will then be clear on what to do and where to go and how to behave. May the clarity you seek now come to you as you remember to return to the clarity that lies deep within you. may there be a shedding of ideas and beliefs that do not belong to you, for you are far more than a collection of beliefs held by others and taught to you, more than your conditioning. You are a clear soul that has transparency to your own self. So you know what it is you seek in the world because you understand who you are deep within and from that place that you live. In this way, the clarity comes. The mists are lifting. The veils part. The path is lit up, and you shine that inner light out, making bright the path ahead. You are more than a series of plans and expectations. You are a soul, finding your way to the knowledge of your own self. And when you begin to find out who you are within, the clarity you seek will come again and again to cut through the tangled thoughts, to clear the path of debris, to move aside those who do not wish for you the best, and to discover for yourself what is best and right for you to do in this moment. And thus, with clarity, dear friend, thou will be blessed again and again. Okay, so that's the exact thing that we're talking about, a blessing to bring clarity, a blessing to disperse the muddied waters of the mind and of the heart, allowing the purity of what can be seen clearly to guide you. Okay? Oh, I love that when that happens. And I only ever get these cards out every now and then, but isn't that cool that that was coming out for us today? We need clarity. We need to stop listening to everything else. And remember, we have a frequency that we're broadcasting like a radio station. And we need to tune into the higher channels, the higher frequencies, the things that are going to sit with us, the things that are helping us, the things that are guiding us. You know, all the psychic work in the world and all of the going into the Akash and everything like that, right? That is not exactly who I am. I'm here as a messenger for you all, right? To show you that you have this within yourself, to show you who you really are with unconditional love, to show you where you may be going wrong. And obviously, I have to show you through myself. How else am I going to know what I'm talking about if I haven't experienced it before, right? And, you know, having low self-esteem or feeling like you're less than and you're seeing everybody achieve and you're not, and you're being a victim or you're being sad within yourself or you're just depressed because of that, all that is a waste of time, you know, and it's only going to get worse because it's like a snowball. It just, as it rolls, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and harder and harder and harder to get out because you're in your own way all of the time. So as you start dissolving your traumas and, you know, deciding you want a better life is the first thing. And you say, I'm so sick of doing this thing over and over again, and you want a better life for yourself. When you make that decision, doors open. Does it mean life becomes just so easy that you don't have to do any work anymore? I think some people believe that, but it's not true. You're going to work on this every day because it's worth it. It's worth it. The results will be there. The life you want is going to happen in only one way. That is by clearing your mind of unnecessary lower frequencies and continue to tune into the higher ones, knowing that that's where you're headed. Do you have to tell anyone, oh, I'm doing high frequency stuff? Don't even boast about how awesome things are, because people who are not on that frequency are just not going to get it. And guess what? They are going to be less and less and less in your locality because they can't match it anymore, right? So that's what we're seeing here. And this is what I was talking about with the Akashic, you know, for the world. Go do this every month, right? But it was saying that this split between the real negative vibrations and us is going to be really quite apparent. And I mean, I'm feeling it already. being able to dissolve a lot of cords, and for someone to show their true colors for the last time, and to really to cause a big problem and a kerfuffle, and to right in front of my eyes try to wipe everything away and try to turn people against me or whatever they're trying to do. Doesn't work when you dissolve it all away from you. When you lift and you remove your power, you remove your energy from a situation. If someone's trying to take everything from you that you'd built up, they're trying to take over, or they're always got an issue, or your neighbor or whoever it is like, say your neighbor is always coming over your fence line, breaking down this one fence, and they never put it back, and they keep on doing it, and you keep on having understanding, and you keep on thinking, and they just keep on breaking that fence down. What are you going to do? Are you eventually going to say, hey, what's going on? Or are you going to say, I'm going to build a bigger fence that you can't even get in at all? That's it. It's done now. You've pushed over that boundary. How many times? Am I going to make it just a little bit harder for you to get over? You're still going to get over the boundary, aren't you? So I'm going to make it impossible for you to even come into that energy at all. You can't come into my house anymore. I can tell you one of the funniest things. I was talking to a client. Oh my God. And I know he doesn't mind me mentioning this, but he said, he didn't even know he was being funny. And it was an analogy that, oh my God, it was so funny that it's going to be helpful for multiple situations in his life. I said, what about your dad? I'm in an intake call with him. So I'm getting information, and, we're talking about mums and dads and family and all this stuff, right? I said, what about your dad? And he said, well, this, that, and the other about his dad, and whatever was going on. And then he turned around and he said, oh yeah. I said, well, when's the last time you talked to him? And he said, well, I hung up the phone for good about 5 years ago. And I'm there like, it's the funniest thing I heard. He hung up the phone for good. Boom. Hung up the phone for good. And I'm like, that is the greatest thing. I'm not receiving this call. In other words, I'm not receiving this information. I'm not receiving your BS. I'm not listening anymore. Boom. I'm hanging up the phone. Notice how I go like that? What is it? Z generation? They're probably like, what is this? What is she? A surfer or something? She's got that all wrong as well. But yeah, I hung up the phone for good, right? Another one he said is, you don't go into the kitchen because the kitchen is for gossip. He said, you go in the lounge room, your food comes right out. I hope this is making you laugh, because, oh my God, I think about it. I actually wrote them down. That's great. Your food comes right out. Don't come in the kitchen. Oh my God. I thought that wouldn't happen in my house. But that's where he's from. It was a cultural thing, right? It was hilarious. So, look, where are you in your life? Like, what are you doing? What's happening for you? Because you can go as far as you want in this. It doesn't matter if the world's broke, you can make it, right? You can do it. And you've got to maintain the power over your energy. The thoughts, what am I going to do? Oh, I don't know. Okay, I'm not thinking about it. Okay. I'm going to have a cup of tea. What the hell am I going to do? Oh, I'm not thinking about it. Okay, I'm going to give it back to my angels. Okay, yep, I'm doing that. Okay, yes. 5 minutes later, oh, it's just on my mind though. Like, it's just happening to me. So you've got to stop going through those negative cycles of defeat, right? You're 100 foot tall. You're 100 foot tall. Have a look down. 100 foot tall. Can you really see anything really down there very well? Like, all these cars and everything are like ants. Like, you go up into a big old hotel room and you look down and you're like, oh, you can barely pinpoint anything. So it's not even necessary. But when we're down there, it's like, oh, it's all happening. So you've got to create a higher frequency for yourself, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And do not accept anyone knocking on those doors that are in that low, complaining, poor me attitude anymore. Help them if you want to. If you're working with this work, okay, you're going to get people who are in that energy. But if you maintain your high frequency and focus, then they won't affect you. They will get helped by you, and they'll also know that they can't just come over your fence whenever they feel like it, knock everything down, and leave it for you to fix again, right? Build a high fence and put a big, massive lock on it and hang up the phone for good, right? Sit in the lounge room and food comes right out. Food comes right to you. Oh my God. All right, let's get Domino Angel for this, and then I'm going to do a dragon message to finish off, and this little meditation with the dragon wisdom. Okay, these you can get on BDevine online. I can't give them to you if you purchase them from Australia, so you'll have to get your money back, because it's too hard. I can't get it to you. It'll cost me $20-$30 to get it sent to you for a $12 item. I can't do it. So anyway, let's just go on with this. And by the way, you can get, you know where I am for your own Akashic readings. I'm actually doing, so I was doing the past life Akash only. Now I'm doing the past and then into the future Akashic readings. So you can get those. You can get a destiny reading, get a Gong He Fat Choi divination system. You can learn tarot. You can learn how to be a light leader instead of a light needer. And you can help others, all right? Totally energy, like you're energy independent, let's just say, right? No one's plugged into you and using your battery. You are completely self-sufficient, right? Powerful, confident, no issues. All right, let's go. Domino angels, we have Archangel Raziel, okay? Archangel Raziel is with you. This is a time of unfolding puzzles and secrets of the family. It may be that some overdue explaining is done this week, and you may even find something that was missing for a long time, right? Decluttering the home and picking up any coins that you might find on your way, for extra good luck. Make plans for that holiday. Make plans that you're going to give yourself this break. You're going to give yourself, you know, you are going to be easy on yourself. You are going to give yourself this freedom pass, right? You're going to put yourself into the place of that you want to be in your life. And you're not going to let anyone plug in to your energy anymore, right? Without your permission, no one can plug into that energy. So if you've let them do it, you've also got to be mindful of that as well. So plenty of excitement is around you. The color green is here with Raziel at this point. You could light a dark green candle. You could write the words Raziel for wisdom. You could write the words abundance. You could write whatever you want, healing, or a white candle, and then burn those. And then you're connecting in with that energy, and that vibration is, you know, throughout your home, right? The number 4 is important, 444, 404, right? 44, whatever it is for you. Archangel Raziel, connected with a lot of wisdom of the world. And if you use a pencil, okay, if you use a pencil for the writings that you do, the pencil, it said the pencil never forgets. So if you were taking a test or something and you were studying with that pencil, take that pencil into your test and your pencil will remember. But I mean, I always work with pencils, you know, these ones that have the eraser, or we call them a rubber in Australia. I know that's like Not really what you say in the United States. But we do. And this one sort of like just winds up at the thing. So I can use this when I'm doing drawings as well with my my energy drawings, which is still available. I can draw you one. My son saw them in Australia and he's like, did you make these? Like, what is this? Like, I didn't know you did this. I'm like, where the hell have you been? And he's like, I want you to make me one for my house. I'm like, yeah, of course I will, right? So I'm like, anyway, and it's like, I was just like, what do you watch? Like, he obviously just goes on Facebook for himself and leaves. That's it. Oh my God, it's funny. All right. We are doing the last thing, which are these gorgeous, I would recommend these. I'm going to make some meditations from these for us as well, because they're just so quick, the little meditation that goes with it. And all of a sudden you're meditating. Oh my God. All right. So strength. Put your shoulders back. I have to tell you my little story about I'm the manager, so I'm going to manage it story. My little friend. I probably have already told you all that, but stand your ground. Don't put up with any BS. Don't feel the need to trash somebody else either, you know, or anything like that. It's not, you know, whatever they do. You know, and I remember sort of like Jesus saying, they know not what they do, right? They have no clue. So if you know, just mind your energy, right? Dragon wisdom, let's go. What does everyone need to hear? I'm going to sneeze in any second. Burnt out. Oh. What does everyone need to know? King Arthur. Okay, we're going to get a message about this. All right, hang on a second. All right. All right. King Arthur. How awesome is that? All right, big red dragon. Okay. King Arthur. Okay, let's see what this message is for us. What do you think, King Arthur? People who have influenced our history and performed great deeds. I know we got the light on it now. There we go. And performed great deeds live on in our hearts and our legends. There is no evidence that King Arthur existed in reality, but that is not important as he lives within us. The legends of heroes plant a seed in our hearts, a seed of courage, freedom, and justice. Only you can decide if this seed will germinate. Decide now to believe in these heroes, and they will awaken within you, within your heart. King Arthur was accompanied by an old and enormous fire dragon, and together they protected the land and its people. He ruled with his heart in harmony with the Great Mother. His mission was love. Become a hero or heroine in your own life. You are the dragon rider that the world needs. Hello. Our old values, including courage, friendship, loyalty, tolerance, love, devotion, and enthusiasm, are returning with you. It is so good that you are here. How amazing is that, right? Leading with love. You have your dragon with you. You are a dragon rider, meaning you have the ability, like I was saying, you're 100 feet tall, you're up above everything, nothing, or they just look like ants that you could easily step on. All the dramas, all the problems, all the issues. Go up in your energy. Embrace this time of your life. Don't let anybody stop you from your goals, dreams, visions, not even yourself. If you don't want to do something, okay, do not do it. Learn how to say no. I have learned that lesson over and over and over again. You know, when you just feel sorry for someone's trauma, or you feel sorry for what they've been through, you feel sorry for everything about them, and you see the potential of healing, all of a sudden, you know, it just backfires on you. We cannot go into a situation with someone else's potentials thinking that you can draw it out of them and you can fix it, because they have got to do that work for themselves. People find this in relationships, getting together with a partner because you see the potentials of who they are. They have to see those things. If they're not actively working on their healing, they never will until it's too late. Too little, too late, right? Your first instinct tells you. Your first instinct always tells you who is who in your life, who you can trust, who you can't, right? And if you've gotten connected with somebody who's not willing to put the effort into their healing, that is not your fault. If they're not willing to look at themselves and address themselves, that's not your fault. I am the first person in my world who will find out what I'm doing, and if I'm doing something wrong or reacting in, I don't know, an unhealed way or something. I check myself all the time, right? Because you have to, because it frees you if you can do that. If you can look at yourself with compassion for where you were at the time, or how you developed it, or that you didn't even realize it was a problem, and you can have compassion for that, then it can leave and you can free yourself and you don't deal with that again, right? It's people that, always like, oh, it's your fault that this is not happening to me. Oh, it's your fault because you're threatened by me, What world are you living in? Right? This is what people treat other people like who are not in their space of power. Because if you're in your personal power, someone else coming along and being, good at what they do or whatever, it doesn't affect you because you're already in your power. So you're just happy, Are you happy for people's successes? Do you cheer them on when they're successful? Or do you feel like you even need to? You don't need to. I don't want anybody to have to feel like they need to say, oh, that's wonderful. Oh, amazing. That would make me feel horrible. It's like, just listen to the message, and the gift to me is that you do it. The gift to me is that you're living a life of freedom. But people who are jumping on you like this and attacking you like this constantly, right? They are worried that you're going to surpass whatever they're doing or whatever. That cannot be your worry, though. Do you think in this, with all the numbers and everything, that everybody that's around in this world, if you're sitting there thinking about any one of them, you lose your power every time. If someone has upset you, dissolve the cords, let it go, do a healing on yourself, get out in nature, focus in a different way. It won't bother you anymore, right? Someone can only make you angry or upset if you really, truly care about them. So that's a hard one for people who are talking about their exes, and they're talking about them, and they're all hard and angry and fired up. And you're like, well, you really do care then. And they're like, no, I don't. Can't you see how angry I am? Boom, boom, boom. And it's like, well, if you were not caring about that person, then they wouldn't even be on your mind at all. They wouldn't bother you at all. It would be nothing. You would feel nothing. So, people need to also just realize their patterns as well. I also want to say that rage, anger, develops itself as heat throughout your body as well. It can give you high blood pressure, right? If you've got too much anger in the system, and it definitely affects the liver, right? And so when that's happening and your blood is literally boiling, that's what that is, right? When you have anger, the angels always say, scream to us, get it out to us. Let it go with us, right? And what will happen is that will actually create a cracking of the heart space. And this will give room for the angels to enter and help you. Isn't that beautiful? Cry out, God, why is this happening? Cry out. Maybe, if you're, for example, if I was answering someone, or, someone had a really big issue and I'm trying to give them advice about it, I'm going to be really careful about my wording at that point, because I don't want to be involved in it, right? So I'm going to be careful about my wording with things. Someone who's extremely angry doesn't even think about that. They'll just say whatever they want to say and hope that you'll forgive them later on, right? Your wording is everything, because if you're really, really pissed at somebody, go to the angels and tell them, and see at the end of all your ranting and raving and asking for help and healing, and see if at the end you even feel it's worth your time to do that. Is it worth giving your energy away to somebody else? Is it worth people, for you to type to somebody else or whatever? So some people say on my YouTube, oh, you're going to hell. Whew, that's it now. God's coming. Here he comes. He's coming. Here I am behind my keyboard. I've watched your whole video, by the way, but here I am. Oh, it's so bad. So what they do is they just give me all of their energy. Like I was worth it to them. So you've got to ask yourself, is this person worth your energy that you're about to get really pissed at? Is it worth your time? Why do you care so much what I'm doing or what someone else is doing or whatever's going on? Why do we feel the need to comment on everything that we may have not even heard properly as well? I just tell people that, sometimes I'll play with them back. Yes, I'll admit that, and I'll say, well, you know what? God is extremely happy with what I'm doing. I'm not so sure whether they're extremely happy with what you're doing right now. And then I'll be like, block, I'm just going to get rid of it. Because after 33 years of being mocked and teased and just ignoring it and ignoring it and ignoring it, sometimes I'm just like, you know what? You don't get to do that on my page. You don't get to do that anymore, right? And when someone is in their power, everybody around them will know. Because it's not about being cocky or bossy. It's just an individual thing, right? Individual thing of taking your power back. It feels so good. Oh my God, when people don't bother you anymore because you couldn't care less because that's their journey, it's amazing. You can free yourself from all kinds of things. When I finally freed myself from my mother's side of the family and all of that stuff, it was the best thing that I ever did. Because before then, I spent my time trying to figure out the motives behind why I was always treated that way. Why was this always happening? Why doesn't she acknowledge me? Why is she not listening? Why is it that I have to go and clean her house so she can go party after she's told me she's sick? Why am I doing that? Why won't she just be a normal person? And this is after all the stuff that's happened to me as a kid, and I forgive it all. Yeah, go back. Oh, I'm asking for more. Because you're family, so that's what you think you need to do. You don't. Your true family is in spirit, right? If you have an issue with letting go of family members because it's family, well, they don't really care about it being family while they're abusing the crap out of you. So what are you going to do? Keep stepping up? Here. Oh, you don't have to stab me in the back. Oh, no. Here I am, right here, open in the front. Go for it. Stab me right in the chest. I know certainly I'm not going to do that, right? But it's like, if you feel like you're just showing up just to get shot down, you're hurting yourself on purpose for some reason. And anyway, all of that can get healed later. But all of that is very easy to heal as well. When we find our own individual strengths, hang up the phone for good on all of that past and all those people and all this. It's such a freedom. Like, your abundance will come in. the people will come forward, your life begins to change, your voice gets stronger, you become more confident, you become more youthful, you become more energized, you start losing weight, the energetic weight, you start losing your physical weight, body's working properly, your mind is just intuitively reacting, and you win every single time. So what's it going to be? And this is what the message needed to be today. As I wrote down on my piece of paper, the importance of your power, of your strength, time to step up into the role that you were born to do. You know what that is for you. It doesn't have to be crazy spiritual stuff or woo-woo or this, but this needs to be a way of thinking, of betterment, of mindfulness, as they call it, or whatever, for you to actually be able to master this life. We're supposed to have spiritual mastery here, mastery of everything that we're coming up with. And it's an individual pathway. Yours is not the same as mine. Mine is not the same as yours. So own it, right? Own your individual power. Emotions can block your clarity about energy. Emotions block your clarity about energy, right? So you got to be sure that you're clearing this emotion. You're not overthinking. You're not taking on someone else's stuff before you go ahead and, ream someone out for no reason, right? No reason. Attacks are not cool, okay? Emotions can block your clarity. And if someone's attacking you and just sending you all kinds of nasty and you haven't even done anything, they're showing you who they are. Block them off. The busier your mind, the more affected consciously by energy. If you're constantly thinking about someone else's, oh, they mean that, that's what they mean. Get it healed. All right. Otherwise, you are not going to be happy. You're not going to grow. You're not going to have your abundance. You're going to go back into a problem or 2 or 3 or 4. People are going to disappear around you and you're going to be lonely, and you've done it to yourself. The busier your mind, the more affected consciously by energy, which means it will screw you up. It will. And all of a sudden, perfectly loving people are now your enemy because you believe everybody's against you because your mind has told you so, right? The altered energy is around you. The lower frequencies are stuck to you now, right? Again, so simple to get out of. Love heals everything. If you want something to heal, give it love. Give it love, and it will bounce back. So do that for yourself. Love you are. Say to yourself, this is day 1 of a miraculous journey of life. I'm going to do anything I set my heart to, and I don't care what anybody says, and I'm going to develop even stronger and stronger and stronger confidence every single day. I'm going to be clear about what I'm feeling. I'm going to monitor my energy. I'm going to protect myself on a daily basis. I'm going to study and I'm going to absorb the information. I'm going to set my spiritual light team on a clear path for my future. I'm going to protect myself morning, noon, and night. I'm just going to be on fire, and I'm owning that energy now, not this old, worn out, broken record that I have become. And I don't even like the record myself. Now I'm slipping in this new, beautiful, brand new vinyl, and I'm going to get started. And then I'm going to keep on getting more and more and more and more equipped to handle whatever comes up, whatever it is. And I'm monitoring myself. I'm hanging up where I need to. I'm putting up the boundaries and the locks on the gate so the person doesn't just keep on coming in, having access to me whenever they feel like it, whatever mood they're in, whatever drama's going on with them, whatever complaining they want to do for the week. My door is not open to that anymore. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that allows that person to get their shit together on their own. And maybe that's what they need. If you've kept on trying and 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 someone just won't get it, stop wasting your time or stop complaining about it, one or the other. Either keep helping him and keep on trying and be quiet about it, or cut it off. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes, people really do need to learn their own lessons without your energy in it. It's just how it has to be. Everybody is on their own journey, and there is a lot of crazy in this world. So you have to maintain your energy, your focus, your drive. How do you think I do it? One step at a time. That's how I do it. One day at a time, one step at a time, one thing at a time. I give time for myself. I'm in nature a lot. At the same time, I do all my work early in the morning. Done. And then that gives me an opportunity, if I want to make a video in the afternoon, or to do my afternoon phone calls, or to make some biscuits, or to make some cakes, or some whatever I'm doing at home. We have a new home that we've just moved into. It's not brand new, has a lot of work to do, but it's our new home. And you know, there's a lot of yard work here. There's a lot of things to fix. There's 5 dogs, right? There's a big storm that happened and wrecked our son's cabin that's out the front. You know, the roof's gone and everything. We're up there on tarps and this, that, and the other. We're putting tarps up and this and that, and fixing the inside and cleaning the inside and getting beds together and making this and make it just like normal people too. Same time, massive academy, trying to get the message out to everybody, just like everybody else, just trying to do your thing, right? But that's how you do it. And when I feel something, I'm going to come up and I'm going to make a video, because I know that that's what the angels told me. When you're feeling it, you can guarantee millions of others are feeling the same thing. And the same for you. If you're feeling it, others are feeling the same way. I encourage all of you to start to talk and do video logs and make videos, even if it's just for yourself, to write things down, to gather your thoughts, to figure out what you would do in certain scenarios. How would you handle certain scenarios in your life? How would you do it? How would you lift things? How would you change things? If you were me and you had students and you had you know, people coming for readings, and you had your free work that you do, and you had websites that you did, and you know, you're trying to keep everything maintained, and you've got everybody at you at the same time, and you know, you've got complaints that you got to deal with from people who can't find a link, or they can't find this, or they can't find that, or they lost their reading, or whatever's going on in their life, and you're fixing all of this stuff, and then you're fixing the house, fixing the house. How would you deal with it? Because I just do it one day at a time, knowing that there's also an energy around where people can wait, things can be fixed, stuff will get done, you know. Whereas I used to be like, what? I've got all this happening. I'd be like, how am I going to do it all? Oh my God, here they come. All right. And now it's just completely different. So, I mean, I always made it through. But it was difficult, more difficult back then, when I had half the amount of work to do than it is now. Isn't that funny? Because the management of myself is different. The boundaries went right up. You know, here, help you, you know, help you to the cows come home if you're helping yourself. You know, I do free work for people all the time. Desperately needing help, no worries. I've even got a support group. If you need help, we've got a support group. If you need a free reading, we've got free readers, right? If you need someone to talk to, we've got the support group. If you're curious about, you know, all of this energy stuff, we've got it. If you need to talk to me about something, I'm right here. I will help you where I can. If you want all of my time and all of my day, well, that's a different thing. Okay, that can't possibly be anyone's life, because you won't be able to help any more people, because you're stuck on the one person, right? As well. Look where you're stuck on. Emotions can block your clarity about energy. Where is it? How are you feeling? What's been going on? Call upon your spiritual light team now. Go and type BDevine declarations. Listen to them. BDevine meditations. Listen to them. Tons. There's 3,600 BDevine videos. Wow. It's been a big 13 years online, 33 years doing this stuff for you guys. More to come. The soul contracts, and the Lords of Karma, very highly recommended. $53 a ticket. Go for it. Change your life. Get started somewhere that's cheap and inexpensive and tons of information. We had a great time. So all the work is there. You know where I am, BDevineonline.com. My old website, DevineMiracles.com, is active, but all the payments and things have to go through BDevine Online. So you can see all the old articles and things that I did, and brought me to this place where I am today. Teachable.com is there. So if you want to learn more about those and the readings and all that, contact me and I'll help you. I'll send you in the right direction. And as I said, free readings are available, 1 reading per person. I will put that in the information. Actually, I'll put the free readings down in the comments, since you all see those more. I'll go into the comments, okay? Call everyone close to you right now as we go through these changes, and know that your spiritual light team have always got your back. Everybody who works for you in spirit is cheering you on 1,000%, okay? Know that you've always got help available. There's payment plans, there's this, there's that, there's support, okay? Nobody else is going to give that to you. Go ahead and see if the Long Island medium's going to actually talk to you, because you'll get someone else is giving you an email, someone else is talking to you, they don't care. They don't care. These people don't care. They've cut their deal and off they go. This is not about helping the world, so to speak. This is about creating entertainment, you know? And we've got a much bigger role. You, I, everybody. People who are drawn into this energy will know it, okay? And I will keep encouraging you every step of the way. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. That would be wonderful. If you can't afford to do anything or whatever, please share the crap out of this work. Share it everywhere. That helps me more than you know, okay? I am not paid by anybody. So having that little bit of extra help is awesome. And I appreciate every single one of you. And I hope to see you again soon. I'm going to be teaching divination skills, Lenormand class, cartomancy, all of those types of psychic abilities and empowerment and the Akashic records and just all kinds of things are going to be coming up soon. And you'll just be able to go join and you'll be able to get started and you can make your whatever, however you're doing it, your payments or whatever. So I look forward to seeing you live for Halloween. It'll probably be the 28th, 29th of October. I'm not exactly sure what day, perhaps the 28th. And see what I can come up with some kind of look, and then we'll do some readings and things and just have a bit of fun with it. I'll try to go live on multiple platforms at the same time, and we'll have a little bit of fun with that this year. Sending you all lots of love, of course, and many blessings. Protect your energy, for God's sake. Hang up the phone for the last time. I'm hanging up for good, right? Cut off your energy from everybody coming in on it, right? And feel the strength. Become 100 feet tall, okay? Sending you blessings, and bye for now. Bye, everyone.